Biju Patnaik University of Technology, Odisha. Let's have a huge round of applause for Dr. Shiv Kumar Mishra. Is a distinguished academic administrator and presently serves as the Director PNT BPUT Odisha with extensive experience in academic leadership, institutional development and technical education. He has actively contributed towards strengthening industry-academia collaboration and innovation-driven initiatives. Let's have a huge round of applause for Dr. Shiv Kumar Mishra, Director PNT Biju Patnaik University of Technology, Odisha. The first panelist, Dr. Jayakrishna Panigrahi, Working President, Odisha Environmental Society Advisor, Odisha Vigyan O Parivesh Congress, former Principal and HOD of Geology and Environmental Science. May I request Dr. Jayakrishna Panigrahi, sir. Let's have a huge round of applause for an eminent environmentalist expert with distinguished contribution in aquatic ecology, fisheries science and environmental policy. With decades of experience in research, policy advisory and environmental awareness, he continues to contribute significantly towards ecological conservation and climate discourse. So we have panelist number 1, Dr. Jayakrishna Panigrahi. Let's have a huge round of applause. We have panelist 2 as Dr. Lipika Nanda, Senior Advisor and Mentor, Public Health Foundation of India. She is a highly accomplished public health expert with multidisciplinary academic credentials, including a PhD in public health from Harvard University. Let's have a big round of applause for Madam Dr. Lipika Nanda, who is having 35 years of experience across government institutions, international organizations, and research bodies. She is particularly in Odisha, and she currently serves as the task force member of National Disaster Management Agency, Government of India. Let's have another big round of applause for Madam Dr. Lipika Nanda as the panelist 2. The third panelist, we have Engineer Kaushik Upadhyay, the Advisor, Power Sector and VP, Revontra Engineers Private Limited. With extensive expertise in energy management, infrastructure planning, and industrial operations, he has been actively contributing towards strengthening sustainable energy solutions and industrial growth. His industry insights bring valuable perspectives to this session. Let's have a big round of applause for Engineer Kaushik Upadhyay as panelist 3. We have panelist 4 as Dr. Suraj Kumar, Vice President, Kalinga Renewable Energy Manufacture Private Limited. He is a distinguished professional in renewable energy sector and currently serves as the Vice President of Kalinga Renewable Energy Manufacturing Private Limited, who has been actively involved in promoting clean, green solutions, sustainable technologies, and renewable energy innovations. Let's have a big round of applause for all the panelists and the moderator of this particular session. With this note, I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Shiv Kumar Mishra for the further proceedings. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar. Jai Jagannath. Good morning to all. I think we have started the session just 5 minutes, or I think 7 minutes before time. So we'll utilize this time to discuss this particular theme, in a very thoroughly. I, Dr. Shiv Kumar Mishra, as the anchor was telling that I was the Director P&IT. It stands for Placement and Industrial Training of BPUT, Biju Patnaik University of Technology, but I want a small correction. That is my additional charge. Basically, I am a professor in electrical engineering in the college. There is a campus college of BPUT, Biju Patnaik University of Technology, that is called Center for UG and PG Studies. So that is my role. I am basically a teacher in electrical engineering, and this topic, the topic, that is energy and climate change, the panel discussion which is organized under BPUT Industry Academia Conclave 2.0, being organized by Biju Patnaik University of Technology and in association with OMCA, Odisha Management College Association. So the theme of this conclave, as you know, that sustainable education towards Samruddha Odisha and Viksit Bharat, role of BPUT, is highly relevant in the present global scenario where sustainability is no longer an option, but an essential pathway for development, resilience, and national progress. So at the outset, I would like to proudly mention that BPUT, of which I proudly say that I am part of it, has recently earned recognition in both India Book of Records and Asia Book of Records for the remarkable achievement of publishing pen and paper examination results within just 2 days of completion of examination. This achievement reflects university's commitment towards efficiency, transparency, technological integration, and institutional excellence. Of course, under the dynamic leadership of our Vice Chancellor, Professor Ameya Kumar Rath. I also feel, personally connected to today's session because, as you all know, this is the second version of the conclave. So the previous Industry Academia Conclave was held in Rourkela in 2025. And we had a similar session which was named Energy and Climate, and which I had the privilege to, moderate. So therefore I have a unique opportunity today to correlate the discussions, the recommendations, and actionable outcomes of the previous conclave with the present deliberations and assess how ideas discussed earlier are gradually transforming into institutional initiatives and implementational frameworks. So today, as we deliberate on energy and climate change, we must recognize that the issue extends beyond environment and energy systems. It directly affects public health, agriculture, industries, urban planning, livelihoods, and overall societal well-being. Rising temperatures, heat waves, extreme climate event, energy insecurity, and environmental degradation are increasingly becoming matters of global concern as well as local reality. In this context, the recent appeal of our Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji, assumes great significance. The Prime Minister has emphasized that small steps by each one of us can safeguard India's future. The advisory encourages citizens to adopt sustainable and responsible practices such as greater use of public transport, carpooling, electric mobility, energy conservation, promotion of made in India products, responsible consumption, and reduction of wastage. So these are not merely economic measures. They are important steps towards sustainable living and climate responsibility. So as you go forward to the vision of Honorable Prime Minister, that is Viksit Bharat 2047. So he has committed itself, to ambitious goals, including net zero by 2070, renewable energy expansion, electric mobility, green hydrogen mission, and climate resilient development. In alignment with the National Educational Policy 2020, higher educational institutions are expected to integrate sustainability into education, research, innovation, and institutional practices. aligned with Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, particularly SDG 11, that is Sustainable Cities and Communities, SDG 12, Responsible Consumption and Production, SDG 13, Climate Action, and SDG 15, Life on Land. So universities have a major role to play as centers of innovation, research, policy, support, skill development, and sustainable community engagement. Friends, that's why I want to reiterate that universities must become not only centers of learning, but also laboratories of sustainable living. I repeat, universities must become not only centers of learning, but also laboratories of sustainable living. So the previous, as I go a little bit backwards, that the last conclave, industry academia conclave, which was held in Rourkela, had a similar panel discussion. So I want to take some of the points from that. The previous industry academia conclave strongly emphasized sustainability, green campus implementation, renewable energy integration, innovation, and climate responsibility. Importantly, the recommendations were translated into actionable outcomes. That is very important. BPUT subsequently issued a formal notification to all constituent and affiliated colleges for implementation of green campus initiatives and renewable energy systems. And we are also following it up through our academic audits. We also look for that whether they have implemented this or not. So this is a important actionable point which was there in the last panel discussion. Further, the 53rd meeting of the Board of Management approved establishment of a 500 kilowatt. That's what Sir was referring yesterday, that BPUT has taken up, a rooftop solar plant in the university campus through ORIDA, demonstrating that universities' commitment towards clean energy transition and sustainable campus development. So today, the session is therefore envisioned as an implementation-oriented and solution-driven dialogue. Along with energy transition and renewable technologies, we also intend to focus on one of the most pressing emerging concerns, the growing public health challenges arising out of climate change, and particularly heat waves. Heat waves are no longer isolated weather events. They are emerging as a serious public health challenge affecting vulnerable populations, productivity, urban living, and overall climate resilience. We shall therefore discuss risks and vulnerabilities, adaptation and mitigation mechanism, policy interventions, and how academic institutions can contribute through research, innovation, awareness, and community engagement. यहाँ पे मैं कुछ बोलना चाहूँगा हिंदी में, वैसे हिंदी मेरा बहुत अच्छी नहीं है। विकसित भारत का मार्ग सतत और हरित विकास से होकर गुजरता है। The path to Viksit Bharat passes through sustainable and green development. And coming to Odisha, Odisha's mineral wealth gives it immense developmental potential. But sustainable growth demands that climate responsibility and industrial progress go side by side. So, setting the tone for today's discussion, I would like to say that for Odisha, the challenge is not choosing between development and sustainability. The challenge is achieving development through sustainability. So in this context, I am extremely happy to have with us a distinguished panel representing environmental governance, public health, industry, and renewable energy sectors. Though the panelists have already been introduced by the anchor, I would like to briefly acknowledge them once again. We have with us Dr. Jayakrushna Panigrahi, former chairman of the Odisha State Pollution Control Board, working president, Odisha Environmental Society, advisor, Odisha Vigyano Parivesh Congress, former principal and HOD, Geology and Environment Science, who brings vast experience in environmental governance, pollution control, and sustainability policy implementation. Madam Lipika Nanda, senior advisor and mentor at the Public Health Foundation of India, and also associated with national level work on heat wave management and climate-linked public health challenges. She will particularly help us understand all the growing impact of heat waves on public health, adoption strategies, and policy implications. Mr. Kaushik Upadhyay, senior engineer from Gupta Power Infrastructure Limited, who will provide valuable insights into industrial energy efficiency, sustainable infrastructure, and emerging technologies in the energy sector. Dr. Suraj Kumar, Vice President of Kalinga Renewable Energy Manufacturers Private Limited, who will share the perspectives on renewable energy ecosystems, green technologies, innovation, and entrepreneurship opportunities in the climate and energy sectors. So welcome you all once again, sir and madam. I sincerely thank all the esteemed panelists for kindly accepting our invitation to join this panel discussion. As per the roadmap of the session, I would now request each panelist to provide their opening remarks focusing on their respective expertise, following which we shall move forward an interactive and outcome-oriented discussion aimed at identifying practical and actionable recommendations for BPUT and its affiliated institutions. So let's begin with Sir Dr. Jayakrushna Panigrahi, sir. Please, your opening comments, please.
Esteemed co-panelists and moderator and distinguished participants, I convey my heartfelt namaste to you all for this excellent session. Friends, the planet is confronting triple planetary crisis at the present juncture. Triple challenges. Number one is climate change, global warming and climate change. A series of disasters, natural disasters happening as a consequence of these. We all are aware about that. Second is pollution of all sorts. There is air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, soil pollution, light pollution, all sorts of pollution. And we can never expect to have good health when we are living in a highly polluted environment. We must be very much conscious about our quality of our environment. In 2019, a report came, Lancet Commission report of America, which mentioned at the global level every year about 90 lakhs premature death happens as a consequence of pollution, various types of pollution. Very unfortunately, India stood number one in that, with 23 lakhs of people dying before their actual age of death. Out of that, 16 lakhs, they are dying due to air pollution. So pollution is a serious challenge, serious issue. And the third problem that we are confronting is degradation or deterioration in the natural ecosystems of the planet. And what is happening as a consequence? Because human intervention is increasing day by day in natural ecosystems. It may be forest, it may be a river, or it may be oceans or seas. Everywhere human footprints are very much visible. So as a consequence of human interference or negative impacts, the living organisms present in such systems, ecosystems, including animals, plants, microorganisms, So their number is declining day by day. We are telling that there is loss of biodiversity. This is a serious challenge again. Every hour, 3 organisms become extinct completely. Every year, up to 27,000 organisms, they are disappearing from the surface of the earth. So these are three serious challenges. And if I ask a question to you, what is the reason behind all these problems or challenges? A single word comes to your mind: energy is the culprit. If you compare the scenario before industrialization or industrial evolution and present day scenario, it is told that there is about 30 to 40 times increase in energy consumption. Today, at the global level, we are consuming about 600 exajoules of energy in various activities or various forms. Whereas in 1900, annual consumption of energy was 30 exajoule. Just imagine. So 30 to 40 times energy consumption, because the present development that we are having, that is energy-based development. That is not sustainable development. So that's why a lot of discussion is focused on energy, how to change the scenario, how to make a transition. So as the energy consumption is increasing day by day, our dependence on fossil fuels, coal, petroleum, natural gas. So these are responsible for about 80% of energy production at the global level. Roughly, and rest 20% various renewable energy. And over dependence on these fossil fuels, these are resulting in release of pollutants to the environment in various forms, including greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, etc. And what is the characteristic of these greenhouse gases? When their concentration is increasing in the air, so they are absorbing more heat, they are trapping more heat. As a consequence, the temperature of the atmosphere is increasing, so also the temperature of our planet. So if I can cite one example, the case of carbon dioxide. Before industrialization, concentration of carbon dioxide was about 280 ppm. Today it has crossed already 430 ppm. So this is just one example. Similarly, other greenhouse gases, they are also on the rising trend. As a consequence, as the greenhouse gases are increasing, they are absorbing more heat, trapping more heat, and as the temperature increases, there is a serious impact on the climate. So climate is changing because temperature is one important factor so far climatic regulation is concerned, characteristic is concerned. So climate is changing, we see devastations in various forms. If you discuss about the devastations happening in our own country, in Himalayan areas this year even, how torrential rains followed by landslides, serious challenges were caused. Some 2 years back, what happened in Wayanad, Kerala, everybody has seen. One cannot believe to have flood in UAE city of Dubai. Unbelievable. Thousands of vehicles, automobiles, were washed away. Similarly, on the western side of USA and Canada, the temperature went up to 49 degrees Celsius. Unbelievable. A cold country having 49 degrees Celsius. Hundreds of people died. Similarly, things happened in Europe also. Temperature reached some 45 degrees Celsius. There was cracks in railway lines and airports. So many devastations are happening and the root cause is energy. So energy is directly linked with climate change. So today's focus everywhere, starting from 2015 Paris Agreement, where the world community decided that we have to contain, we have to restrict the temperature rise within 1.5 degrees Celsius, or at best 2 degrees Celsius. In the meantime, 10 years have passed, a decade has passed. What has happened? What sort of determination was done? The agreement that was reached in the Paris conference, we are not able to achieve. We are not able to make the transition in the right direction.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. Sir, this is an opening remark. We'll come to this.
I'm concluding.
We'll come to the
Yeah.
this topic once again.
So after 10 years, if nothing happens and the trend is still on the rising, in 2025, the world temperature, it is told that last 11 years is the hottest year. So what is going to happen? IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, has clearly spelled out by the end of this century, the temperature rise may increase up to 3.2 degrees Celsius. So we have to imagine, we have to be serious, and we have to make transition very quick.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, now it's over to Madam Nanda. Please, for your opening comments. Madam, please keep it short as per your expertise so that we can go to the next phase of discussion.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, I will try to be definitely short. I think it's interesting that we are having this discussion today in Bhubaneswar. I have grown up in Bhubaneswar as a child, and I know many of you are very young, but while I was growing up, Bhubaneswar was never a hot place.
Yes.
It was a very breezy place, and I don't remember growing up using air conditioners.
Yes.
Or, it was always thought to be a very pleasant place. But today, Bhubaneswar is really hot, and there are periods of, severe heat wave that is engulfing the city, and, many places. I don't think it's not just Bhubaneswar, but I'm just taking the example of Bhubaneswar. Interestingly, climate change, impacts of climate change are inevitable. And I'm happy I had a short discussion with Dr. Mishra before. He said we are going to speak about climate change, impact on public health. I said I will need 2 days to discuss about it. So I need, if it is a 10-minute discussion, let me focus on heat wave. Interestingly, where Odisha is a leader.
Yes.
All of us should be very proud that Odisha has been a leader in the area of heat wave, especially around issues of mitigation and adaptation. And I'm going to touch upon a little issues
Yeah, madam,
that
we'll
will
come to
have
that,
will have that is of importance to all of you as students of university and also industry.
Yes.
Now, who are at risk in terms of heat waves? I think there are certain livelihoods that actually heat waves impact a lot. People like the construction workers, people that are, bus drivers, bus conductors, people that are working outside in the fields, farms, and also traffic police that are standing outside in the hot sun. And people that are also impacted are the sick people. A lot of people that have chronic kidney diseases, the elderly, children, pregnant women. I think a lot of these people are at risk. And just give me 1 minute. My interest in the year of 2015, I started working with the government of Odisha while with the Public Health Foundation of India. I will tell you a very interesting, kind of research that I started that really caught my eye. I looked at 15 years of data in Bhubaneswar. I mapped the temperature from the IMD. I got the temperature data, and I looked at the mortality data from the government. I mapped mortality and temperature. And interestingly, what happened, I saw a pattern. People are dying when the temperatures are increasing. More interestingly for me was that when temperature started crossing 38 degrees centigrade, people were starting to die. And it made me understand and realize that the threshold for the people in Odisha probably is around that point, which is 38.4 degrees centigrade. And the more temperature when it increased, the death started increasing a lot. And I looked at data of 15 years.
Yeah.
So we understood that the threshold of this particular community in Odisha is this. And then, we also started looking at other states.
Yeah.
Interestingly, in Rajasthan, when we mapped mortality data against temperature, it was much higher, 40 degrees. It made us understand that certain communities they have learned how to adapt to increased temperatures, whereas certain communities that have the luxury of being in lower temperatures, coastal areas, probably are not adapted. I will discuss more later.
Thank you. Now, it's over to Mr. Kaushik Upadhyay for his opening comments. I have a small correction. Sir, you have been introduced wrongly by me. I think that for the data with me. So you are advisor, power sector, and VP, Renovatora Engineers Private Limited. Sorry for the correction.
Thank you, sir. Now, I just want to thank BPUT because this renewable energy is a part of it. And I'm really thankful to Vice Chancellor, sir, also, that he has taken up this topic. Everybody don't talk. From the industry point of view, I can tell you, this has maximum investment that Government of India is doing is here. But nobody talks about it. The student don't know. So and this is the best forum where we can put forward the things, and students should know how much potential is there in this particular industry, where a lot of growth is coming up, opportunity is huge, and it is really for the building the country, you can say, ultimately. Yes. So I think this is a very good opportunity, and as COVID makes us learn about health, Iran war made us learn about energy conservations and what is the impact of renewable energy.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So over to Dr. Suraj Kumar.
Good morning, all. So, as sir said, like energy is more important. Okay. So here we will talk about like how innovation comes into the picture to develop the energy efficient systems, how it will help to society, and how it will create more opportunities for the society. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll move to the next round, that is more specific to the Odisha, because we are discussing the part of the theme is Samruddha Odisha. So Odisha is a mineral rich and rapidly industrializing state. So how can Odisha, as I have already told in my introductory address, that you have to go side by side, the sustainability along with the industrial. So my question would be to Dr. Jayakrishna Panigrahi sir, that how can Odisha balance industrial development and with environmental sustainability and climate responsibility?
See, Odisha is highly blessed with a lot of mineral resources,
Yes.
forest resources, coastal areas, as well as human resources. Very unfortunately, we have not marched ahead in the process of development to that extent, to the expected extent.
Yes.
Where is the problem? And in the context of this energy transition and climate change, what should be our approach? We have never formed a long-term plan and program. That is lacking in the state. For 50 years, for 100 years, we are having so much of resources, but how much value addition we have made to the mineral resources that are being within our state. So value addition concept is not a good point where we are focusing. So that is lacking totally. We are simply extracting minerals and we are exporting to various, and few industries are there. So now our focus should be the same minerals we can utilize here by various other purposes with value addition as the objective. Second, in the context of energy consumption, you see, because we are having coal deposits, always our focus is to extract the coal. But simultaneously, we have to see our potential because we are having sunlight, enough sunlight, so that we can convert it into solar energy instead of extracting coal, which is the cause of concern, which is creating a lot of pollution. So many issues are concerned. Always air quality index remains very high in our state as well as in pockets like Talcher, Ongole, Jharsuguda, etc. So keeping that in mind, gradually we have to accept energy transition as quick as possible, focusing other sources of renewable energy. So long-term planning and energy transition, value addition, these are important aspects on which we have to focus so that in future we can develop in a better speed, or we can accelerate the process of development.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I think this will be a question to Dr. Lipikananda, madam. Madam, as you already discussed, throw light about climate change. Climate change is increasingly becoming a public health concern. And from your perspective, how serious is the challenge of heat waves and climate-linked health risks for Odisha? I mean, please focus
Yes.
on Odisha.
Yes, my discussion is going to focus
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Odisha. There is a lot of risk, as I said. For example, lot of risk in increase and prevalence of zoonotic diseases like chikungunya, Japanese encephalitis, malaria. These are when the heat goes up and dampness, humidity and heat goes up. These are also major risks in terms of increase of these illnesses. As I mentioned also in terms of, there can be issues of food security also. Agriculture, production, when the crop production reduces, it has a direct impact also on consumption, especially in the rural areas, vulnerable areas. People that are living in slums, there is a major risk on them in terms of access to water, access to electricity, access to, various services, health services. I think those are lots of issues. Recently, there is some research emerging around issues of childhood obesity. As a result of heat, children are not able to go out and play in the heat. Like we all used to, we were as children,
That's very interesting.
we learned playing outside. The moment children are not able to go out and play, now evidence of increase and prevalence of childhood obesity. And as my esteemed co-panelist mentioned about, deaths, in preterm babies, mothers, these are also kind of major risks that are emerging as a result of increased heat. And also, I would also want to touch upon food. For example, lot of increase in prevalence of diarrhea and cholera and stuff like that, because food gets spoiled as a result of, vulnerable people do not have access to refrigerators and, cooling mechanisms. And of course, the major, I didn't mention heat strokes because that is evident, that's kind of understood. But apart from just heat waves, there are so many other aspects, in terms of skin diseases, increase in prevalence of, fungal infections and, all sorts of are emerging as a result of increased heat every year in different places around globally, the global warming.
Yeah.
So these are some of, I haven't even addressed.
Okay, we'll come to that the next round. Yeah, it's a question to now Mr. Kaushik Upadhyay, sir. Industries are, major stakeholders of in energy consumption and infrastructure development. So, how do you see industries adapting to the changing climate and sustainability expectations?
See, hello, yeah. As you see, now in the industry, if you see, competition is the major things. Now, everything goes. Whatever we say, we will say everything. But ultimate thing is that what price you are selling it.
Yeah.
And you have to gain a profit, ultimately for the management. So now the thing is that if you are using very energy efficient product, your energy consumption goes down, you earn, and automatically you become competitive in the market. So you have to use the latest technology that is available, energy efficient technology. And energy efficient technology is not related to only putting a solar panel or doing a solar power plant. Because you may do a solar plant and you are having a DC motor or AC motor in your organizations, which is consuming huge things. So you are not changing that. So ultimately, if you are doing something renewable, you may think that I am doing much, much better. But it is going down. Now you have got an AC which is there for the last 15 years. And it is doing a lot of, it is taking a lot of energy from you. So we have to balance both the things. First and foremost thing is that we have to look into our system itself without changing anything. And I'm sure we have seen it in different energy audit also. I've gone to different places and we have seen it that minimum you can say 30% energy you can save if you look into your type of working you are doing. I can take an example. I have gone to a particular lab. I saw that the lab was chilling, you can say. It's chilled. Nobody is there. It is chilled. I asked those people, I said, boss, your lab is a very big lab and it is fully chilled. No, sir, that particular compound is there. No, I have kept in 3 buckets. Sir, that buckets, if that temperature increases more than 17, 18 degree, it will be lost. And it is my work for around, and that bucket has to be there for 12 days. That is a 12 days period. And he will be keeping the seat there. So there, if they have a small chilling furnace and they can put that bucket on that, it will be done. Yeah. So you see how much energy they are using. Ultimately, it is impacting the product that particular company is giving.
Yes.
Now, if you see everywhere in India with our Prime Minister's initiatives and all other cabinet ministers' initiatives, they are saying that if the people who are buying the raw material, whether they are compliant with the carbon things or not. Are they using this? But that is something we have to think. You see, there are companies who are using recycling product. We are not working on that. They are using huge technologies, I can tell you. If you go to, if you compare our Odisha with a state, I'm not saying other country. Country, if you compare, you have to compare India with China. And if you, in India, if you want to compare, you have to compare Odisha with Gujarat. Don't say that they are 50 years ahead. No. How they got there. Okay. That is the major thing. If I went there, I saw a lot of renewable energy, how waste they are doing. Renewable energy, waste management, that is mind-blowing. So those type of practices, we have to bring it here. And it can be only brought if the academia is involved in that. Because industry, we can support academia, but ultimately to go to the people and tell them about the positive angle of it. I can tell you in Odisha also, if you see, there are n numbers of MSME peoples are there. N numbers of MSME industries are there. They want to reduce their energy. But the problem is nobody is there to guide them. Sir, if you reduce this energy by this much amount today, by changing these 3 products, by changing these 3 equipments, your electricity bill will go down, your efficiency will go up, nobody is there.
You mean to say the industry doesn't have a concrete policy regarding...
No, industry have a policy, sir. Yeah. But the thing is that how it is implemented. There is nobody. I can tell you, I am there in this renewable sector and in the transmission sector. I have been there in the transmission sector working with Power Grid, NTPC, NHPC, all of them. Sir, if you go there, they say a vendor, if the vendor comes, they will tell, "Arey, tumhara technical aadmi nahi aaya." There is a dearth of technical people. Yeah. Only commercial people are going. Where is the technical? So there we require the support of BPUT and their colleges to support in this.
We'll come to that, sir, in the next.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Now it's Dr. Suraj Kumar. This question is for you. Odisha has an immense renewable energy potential. how can renewable energy become a major driver for sustainable growth and green employment in the state?
So as we talk about Odisha demography, so we have here long stretch of sea beaches,
Right.
where we have a very good wind speed. We can use the wind. No. Thank you. So as sun availability is also there. So solar energy also is a major part of that. As ma'am said, the heat wave is coming, and there are a lot of heat wave is going on also. So that will be coming into every year by day. So if we convert those heat waves or those energies into the electrical energy with the help of solar technology, that will help us to revive those, to generate those energies, and that will help to society and the other industries also. So new technology is also coming in the hydrogen sector, hydrogen energy, the green hydrogen, ammonia, which will work with the best suited for the industry with the higher, high efficient energy requirements like that.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So now we'll move to the intervention. We would all like to know your ideas about government intervention in this sector. So what are the government policies available? For example, I have a list of government policies. For example, net zero 2070 vision. So it says that India has committed to achieve net zero carbon emission by 2070, announced at the COP26. This is a long-term strategy which focuses on rapid expansion of renewable energy capacity, reduction in dependence on fossil fuels, and all those things. Similarly, we have National Green Hydrogen Mission. You know, this National Green Hydrogen Mission aims to position India as a global hub for production, utilization, and export of green hydrogen. Similarly, we have the PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. You know, this is quite popular nowadays, particularly of the new government has come. And similarly, we have National Solar Mission, which says that the Jawaharlal Nehru National Solar Mission is one of the key missions. It is a very quite old one. The key missions under the National Action Plan on Climate Change. So with this kind of government policies available, my question would be to Dr. Panigrahi is that what policy interventions and regulatory mechanism are most critical today for accelerating climate action and environmental compliance, sir?
You see, the talk of the town is today green technology.
Yes.
So any sort of new technology that is preventing pollution and that is very much energy efficient, clean and green energy is to be used. It may be industry, it may be automobile sector, even it may be in households. Everywhere, the priority should be on clean and green energy, source of energy. So, whatever programs Government of India is having, including International Solar Alliance, we are leading. But you see at the end, what is the percentage of that? I was looking at the percentage of various sources of energy that we are using right now. So, solar energy remains very small percent. Whereas coal, petroleum, all these fossil fuels still close to 80%. So that's why implementation must be very quick. We have formulated plans, programs, policies, everything in place. But implementation is not being accelerated as is required. Second thing is that we have to tie up with some developed countries so that there will be transfer of technology. That is very important.
Yeah.
A lot of discussion at the international level is going on about developed and developing countries, north-south divide. technologies, latest technologies, green technologies are with the developed countries, rich countries like America and Europe. Whereas developing countries in Asia and Africa, they are lagging behind. So that's why at international forum, including United Nations Climate Conference, focus is on technology transfer from developed to developing countries, and also financial support, funding, so that countries like India and other countries which are developing right now, so they will be supported by them. So technology transfer is a must, but simultaneously two buzzwords are there also. One is skill, the other is innovation. At our own level, our R&D institutions, they have to focus on innovations. They have to encourage young people sitting here. So they have to think about novel ideas, how to develop. And without waiting for Western people to transfer the technology to our country, we have to develop technology by ourselves. So that in case of energy, when we are discussing about transition, energy transition, as quick as possible, including hydrogen. Everybody is telling India is going to be a green hydrogen hub in the globe. But the required technology, we have to find out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it is not cost effective right now.
Right.
So the cost is much higher, so nobody is opting for that. So very quickly, we have to develop the technology, right technology. We have to inspire the young people, researchers who are working in these fields, so that very quickly, as quick as possible, so latest technologies, green technology will be available with us, and energy transition will be much quicker.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Madam, Deepika Madam, I will restrict my question to that particular area, as we have already said that heat wave, how can public health dimensions of climate change be integrated into educational policies, institutional planning, and sustainable development frameworks? So please restrict your answer to this.
That's a very, very good question. In terms, to address that question, I would like to mention that there are two ways to deal with heat waves are going to happen. We can't do anything about it. But then there are two ways to look at heat, how to deal with heat waves. One is adaptation, and the other is mitigation. Now, what do I mean by adaptation? If heat waves are going to happen, how can the government, along with researchers, other organizations, influence people to adapt to those changes, which means they need to change their habits, food habits, clothing habits, working habits. This all needs to change. But then what role does the government have?
Yeah.
When I started working in 2015, working with the State Disaster Management Agency on especially this issue, it was just, every year a heat wave action plan was developed by the department. And it was, kind of mechanically done. Then I started understanding that there is no department for heat wave. It's there has to be a multidisciplinary approach to dealing with heat waves. So you do not just have the health department. Health, education, the municipal administration, the finance, every department needs to be developed, get involved. So we work with the government to set up a steering committee which has all these members.
I think disaster management is a department under.
Yes, it's a organization within the department, and that steering committee should not meet when heat waves are happening. They have to meet while the winter is ending and summer is starting, to start working around what could be the policy. Okay, we will tell people don't work in the heat. Then what is required for that? We need to change labor policies, isn't it? If the labor policies are going to be working from 9 to 5 and a lunch break of 1 hour, which usually is, how can we help people? They are vulnerable people. They have to listen to what, their employers. So We worked, yes, that's what I'm saying. We first worked with the state agency to work with the labor department to look at
of late
labor
we think
laws.
we have government,
Yes.
notifications
yes,
coming
notifications
around this.
coming and all that. Then school timings, for example, changing, and sometimes, when heat waves, the schools are being closed these days. Those days it didn't used to close. So that was also as a result of, looking at influencing and
So
telling.
these all methods come under the adaptation.
Adaptation and also some policy changes in terms of how we can mitigation, cool roofs. For example, having the white paint over the cool roofs of schools and hospitals. For example, hospitals, the pediatric wards, if they are on the top floor, then the newborns are more affected, bringing them to the ground floor. I'm talking about very small changes that can have big impact
Right.
on mortality and also morbidity. Ensuring availability of water and electricity during the heat waves, making sure that they don't the current failures do not electricity failures do not happen during that time. Some of the things
Right.
are inevitable, but being very training hospital staff. We all think doctor and the hospital staff know how to deal with heat waves. They don't. So training constantly, training bus staff. Somebody is sitting in the bus, has kind of symptoms of heat stroke. What should they do next? What is the next immediate action? Those are kind of adaptation. And I will speak more. Certain short-term measures are there, certain long-term measures are there. I will speak more after
Yeah,
other
I think
people.
we'll move to Mr. Kaushik Upadhyay again. Sir, India, again, I'm repeating the same thing. India is moving towards net zero by 2070. That's what the vision is all about, an energy transition. What role can industries and technical institutions jointly play? I'm coming to that one, that how the technical institutions and industries can jointly play in supporting this transition.
Hello. Yeah, this is a very good thing, because if you see the target of net zero of Prime Minister Modi ji of 2070, so there both the parties are required, industry and technical institutes, I can tell you. Because what happens is you have to have a target, because it has to be target oriented. Because for example, if BPUT is there, what is the contribution of BPUT every year towards that net zero? What target they have kept? See, you cannot keep your target at 2070. 2070 is India's target, because there are a lot of industries which we cannot do now. We have to do it. So I think that BPUT has to have a realistic target of 2030. So if you keep a 2030 to make BPUT and its affiliated college net zero and monitoring it every month and every year, then only you can do it, sir. And for that, I am saying in the forum, there are a lot of companies, there are a lot of startups, they have got beautiful ideas. Before coming here, I got a proposal from a particular startup. I cannot indulge it because it is under patent now. So they are doing regeneration of batteries. They send me the full report and they are saying that I can increase the life of the battery, sir, by minimum 2 to 3 times. You give me a dead battery, I will do it. So this type of technology people are doing, sir. They are beautiful people are there. If you go to one of the incubation cell and you will see. So this type of things has to come from the academia. And I think the role of the academia is more. Sir, if you ask me, the industry is always willing to help academia. But the thing is that the proposal has to come from their end. How we can do it, what are the things you will support us, because rest of the things we will be supporting you. Industry will support you, I can tell you. Industry is always there for any new technology. Sir is also there, sir, everybody knows that industry always wants. But the thing is that they don't have the technical brain to do it, sir. Because whatever technical brain they have to do their day-to-day job to earn for the company. So if somebody is doing the technical thing, they are most willing to do it. So my thing is that to achieve that, we ourselves, for example, if X company is associated with BPUT, the X company will also have a net zero target, BPUT also have a net zero target, and BPUT have to support them with the different type of systems, solutions to achieve that at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I think both the parties, hands-on is required to achieve that thing, sir.
So what you told basically to achieve the long-term goal by 2070, divide them into shorter,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Shorter period, sir. Because
And-
after 1 year, nobody remembers, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, you don't have a champion. You have a champion. For example, whether it is industry or it is the BPUT or academia, I can say, you don't declare a champion of green or sustainable champion in their campus. When you are doing convocation, sir, you should have an award. This particular institute, this particular student has done the maximum in the green and the sustainable.
Yeah, that's what we want to integrate, along with the academic audit. We should have an energy audit,
Yes, sir.
Partly we have done it,
Yes.
but I think it would be appeal to the university authorities to integrate the energy audit, which is the need of the hour, along with the academic audit.
Yes.
So that the colleges, the affiliated colleges will be aware of this kind of,
Yes.
their responsibilities.
Yes, sir. And another thing, sir, here I just want to add, since you have said about the energy audit, sir, you have to, first of all, form a core committee of energy audit. And they should make those colleges, faculties, and student, at least one of the faculty of that particular constituent college should be there in that committee, and they should learn, or you should take the initiative of make them learning how the energy audit is done. Everybody thinks energy audit means इस महीने में हमारा 300 किलोवाट लगा है, अगला महीने 290 लगा है, तो 10 किलोवाट तुमने बचा लिया. No, it is not that. Energy audit is something, a very big chapter. It's a totally deep chapter. So there, sir, your role comes. And the same thing you have to do it to the industry also. Sir, in Odisha, there are n number of industry who wants their energy audit to be done. But who is there to do it? Now, if we go to big energy audit people, they charge us like anything. So how a MSME company will be doing their energy audit? Here, peoples come like you. You are not only doing it for your institutes, your substitute, you are also doing it for the industry of Odisha only, sir.
So that's why I want to have from you, sir, listen from you, that what are your specific recommendations?
I will say that industry, your BPUT should have a energy audit team with all latest software and all latest know-how. And that you give it to the MSME department or you can say Odisha small scale, you can give it to them also, sir. And I'm sure n number of MSME people are there who really wants to take up that thing.
Why not to make it compulsory for affiliate institutions
That's what I
to
was
have
saying.
annual audit, energy audit?
Yeah.
It must be made mandatory.
Yeah.
But for industry to sustain, sir, you have to give us a team. I'm telling you. It is a request from the industry that the BPUT with their technical persons, with your faculties who are very much knowledgeable. So you should make a team and support each and every industry, sir.
Right.
How they can do their audit on it and how they can reduce their energy, increase their energy efficiency and reduce their energy bill.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Now going towards skill development, innovation and employability, my question to Dr. Suraj Kumar would be, what are the emerging opportunities for students in renewable energy, climate technology and green entrepreneurship?
So as the technology development, it requires more number of students who can learn, who can do training and give those information transfer to the industry. Otherwise, industry requirement is too huge. If we talk about any industry, just like in Odisha, there is a steel industry. If we talk about their requirement in terms of only the renewable energy, that is too much. We cannot compete in next 10 years, whatever their requirement is there.
Okay.
So we have to think, whatever the latest technology is coming, whatever the cutthroat technology is coming in the other continent and all that. So we have to learn those things. It is not like that we have to go there and do the thing. We have to learn the basics, how the technology is working. we have to do some training, some internship and all that. And any industry having those kind of collaborations with the other countries and all that. So with the collaboration with the industry and the academicians, these can be work together. Proper training, proper equipment, do the things. So I think in next 10 years, at least more than 10 lakh jobs in the technical industry in renewable energy sector only, like in the wind energy, solar energy, green hydrogens and all that. So I think we have to work like the two putteries of the trains, parallel. Like if any technology is coming in the market, the student has to learn that one. In how efficient they can learn, that depends upon the technology, training, equipments, software, and all that. So I think if you learn very basics of those technologies, your requirement in the market is too valuable.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Now, sir, it's a question to Dr. Jayakrushna Panigrahi. How can universities become centers for policy-driven sustainability, research, and environmental leadership? I mean, what will be the university's role?
See, university curriculum is supposed to be changed depending on the market demand.
Okay.
In many cases, we find the curriculum remains obsolete. The present demand is something, but the curriculum doesn't address to that. So we have to update our curriculum. One more from the side of BPUT, what sort of encouragement can be done through various affiliated colleges? I am citing just one example. April 22 was observed as Earth Day. We, on behalf of Odisha Environmental Society, we had a one-day program in OUTR University.
Okay.
So theme was power, energy. We invited the students of various engineering colleges to come with specific innovative ideas on energy conservation, energy transition. And when they presented, we were astonished, beautiful presentations by the students. So in that way, university has to encourage students of various colleges, because this young mass, they are having various new ideas also. Let us encourage them so that they can submit the ideas, the innovative things that is coming to their mind, and in front of a learned experts, when they are making their presentation, so experts can also grant that proposal for further development. That is one suggestion. So university has a lot of role to play. We have to impose quality of education. Very often we see students are not having the skill they are supposed to have after completion of their degrees. So somehow, being examination oriented, they have got the certificate without adequate knowledge and skill with them. So when they are going to the market searching for jobs, they are not having success. Last week I had written one article, Green Energy and Energy Opportunities. Why BPUT is not having one unit somewhere? The job opportunities in case of green energy sectors, so that students will be more aware about that. Yeah. Such new things, new ideas should be incorporated into the course curriculum. Right. So that way we can pass the message to the students, to the next generation. Right. Okay, that is the responsibility of the university.
Thank you. Madam, the same question to you, that how can we encourage students to take up interdisciplinary climate and public health related research that can influence our policy and society?
Yeah. Now, one difference between our country and other developed countries is the lack of evidence. In this country, we do not have any evidence. We develop policies, we implement large scale, changes in, policies and programs without any evidence, with gut feeling that this is what is required. I think that is where the role of universities and research institutions come in place. Now, and also there is also a linkage of, I think you mentioned about good quality research also. Good quality research is also linked to credibility of policymakers looking and giving kind of importance or validating that kind of a research. But sometimes what happens is we wait for research proposals, submitting them, getting funding, and then carrying out research. But if there is a culture of constant research in universities, which I'm sorry, I have also grown up in this country and I have studied in universities, we do not have a culture of good quality, active, relevant research. So for example, no encouragement also. If there is a faculty who is doing some research, sometimes, there are other people also trying to put them down. So instead of waiting for research proposals, look at opportunities. Look at certain natural opportunities that are happening around. And it could be the role of university mentors and researchers to guide students. Look, this is what is happening. For example, I'm talking about my heat wave. This is what is happening. How can we look at, how we can help the government, how we can do some. There is an action plan which is developed by the government and is being implemented. Can the university start looking at evaluating that action plan? End of the summer, can we look at evaluating a current action plan that has been implemented for 5 months? I gave you the example of how I got an insight of looking at 15 years data to look at, the threshold assessments. Or looking at, can university students look at carrying out vulnerability assessments after summer? Students can, look at, how can they do vulnerability assessments in order to understand how they can strengthen the next year's action plan. Or look at research, do meta-analysis of different countries and look at what are the long-term, kind of ways of reducing, the impact of heat waves. Things like long-term plans like creating green spaces, creating, more water bodies, which are long-term. But, how can we look at influence government looking at, in the era where everything is getting urbanized? How can we do that? Or, for example, large structure buildings with glasses. That's the latest trend right now. Yeah. Reflecting. They also increase the heat. Heat emitting vehicles. How can we improve public transportation more that, people use less heat emitting vehicles? Or, I think somebody mentioned about efficiency of air conditioners, fans. You say this is air conditioned, but if you look actually in this building, if we look at, how many are efficiently working 100%, I'm sorry, it will not be there. So how can we look at, training, looking at, these are opportunities for research. How can we do that? That can be relevant for the government, can be relevant for the society. Instead of, continuing and carrying theoretical research, with the students I'll give you a small example which is not high cost. In Philippines, the roadsides I saw, it's, they have rods and, creepers. So the pathways have become shaded.
Yeah.
And looking at, what different countries have done low cost, interventions that we can do. And is it helping? So these kind of research are, to me, they're called relevant research. And to tell you frankly, work around heat waves or climate change is not just, it's multidisciplinary. I think students have to know and understand. I was coming in the vehicle today, one of your students, he was asking me, how can we work on public health? I said, it is multidisciplinary. And not one person,
And
not
in
one.
NEP 2020, it is all about multidisciplinary.
Exactly. And I'm surprised that you have invited me to this session. I know there are, I'm kind of an odd person out, but I'm very happy that I'm able to speak to the students that this is an area of work. Climate change, public health challenges is an area which is growing, and it is going to be the next, for the next 20 years, it's going to be one of the top areas of research.
Yeah.
And why can't we now? So, and I think he mentioned about changing curriculum. We continue with the same curriculum for 20 years. Why can't we change curriculum every 2 years? Because our needs, the challenges are changing every 2 years. Every year it is changing. So why can't we change?
And in our syllabus, we have introduced certain topics which are relevant to climate change and all. For example, green technology is a very regular subject. Disaster management is a subject which has been taken up by. So we are changing, but
Yeah.
not at the pace we are expecting.
The
Yeah.
pace of challenges are much more than the pace of change.
Yeah.
So I think it is important, and I'm not blaming anyone. We all are contributing to that.
Together we have to move.
Together we have to move, and we have to involve a lot of other multidisciplinary people in order to kind of contribute to those changes.
Yeah. My question, next question would be to Mr. Kaushik Upadhyay. It would be very specific to the students' perspective. What technical skills should engineering students develop to remain relevant in the future energy ecosystem?
Hello. Yeah. This is a very, very good question that you have asked. Because whenever I have been in this industry for more than 30 years, and I know that whenever we go for an interview, new people came. उसको क्या क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे? Ohm's law, this law, that law. Sir, this is what I'm saying. This, you go anywhere. Don't go to the IT industry. You go to the core industry, they will ask you, अरे उसको क्या आता होगा यार? Ohm's law पूछ के, Kirchhoff law, Ohm's law पूछ के उसको विदाई करते हैं यार. देख ले, अगर वो बोल देता है तो उसको रख के ट्रेनिंग दे देंगे 1 साल तक. See, this is the mentality of the industry. Now, sir, this is something you people has to change.
Yeah.
The thing is that there are a lot of technologies going on. The student don't know. For example, what is a digital transformer? What is a digital substations? What is a compact? Sir, substations are there. I am asking about digital substations. I am asking about the CSS, that is a compact substations. I am asking about the online monitoring of energy systems. I am asking you about the IoT, what they know about the IoT enabled systems. What they know, sir, when people say AI means ChatGPT, good, these are the Gemini, no, this is not the AI for a engineering or a technical person. The AI for the engineering or a technical person is where you can stop a disaster to happen in the machines. For example, how to detect the machine faulty. Because AI has got that power with which it can detect this machine has to require a preventive maintenance now. Because if you are not doing it now, based on the whatever has been done until now, we know that this machine is going to stop after a few days. So these people, for example, an electrical engineer, he should not know only the electrical core engineering. He should know how to use data analytics based on his thing only. The data analytics that madam was telling, that she did some combination madam did, and madam found out a 15 years data, and she drawn the conclusions. So my question is to the student, they should know about the automation, sir. And they should know for each of the subject, what are the different latest and efficient technology that is there. So I think in that role, sir, you have to call people from the industry who are more willing to come to the campus to give to the student what is the latest trend that is going on in these areas. And it is not only solar. I am not talking about solar because solar everybody knows. Solar is one part of it. It is a 25% of our things. Rest 75% are the other technologies, whether it is HVDC, whether it is IoT based, whether it is AI based, whether you are going into BESS. For example, now if you say in India, everyone is thinking, boss, we require a storage system. Maharashtra government has come up with a scheme. If you are putting a generating plant, any type of generation, whether it is hydro or a thermal, you have to have a storage. You put a storage, whether it is BSS, BESS, battery systems, lithium battery, or you put it as a PSS, that is the pump storage system, hydro pump storage system. So this type of things are coming, sir. And I can tell you, sir, today sitting here, all the big companies in India, from L&T, KEC, Kalpataru, Megha, everybody is working in this particular area, in the storage area. Because now what happens is, as you know, we will be talking about renewable energy, whether it is wind or solar. But those are variables, sir. During the daytime only we'll get all the energy. What happens in the night? Zero. Whatever has been generated today, if it is not consumed, it is wasted.
And there is an important development. The consumers have now become prosumers.
Yes.
So that's a very important thing we have to also take care of.
Yes, yes. Sir, that is what I'm saying. Now, if you see, few days back, I found out an article of Mr. Sumanta Sinha, who is the head of Renew company, a big renewable group. He was telling us that during the daytime, my charges goes to almost nil. Because I am generating so much power, my charges is going nil. So now the next thing is how to store it, sir.
Yeah.
Did the student know? No. Sir, BSES is a very difficult technology. Yeah. So my question is I request to the BPUT and sir and everybody, sir, put this type of technology to your student, that they should know what is BESS. Not through net. Take them to the things. Let them see the container. Sir, if you don't see the container, you can't imagine what is a BESS. I saw it once. And I was amazed how megawatt is they are capturing.
BESS stands for Battery Energy Storage System. So that's what sir was referring to.
And it is in the megawatts, sir. They are storing in megawatts. So you could imagine what type of energy they are storing and how they are keeping it. So that type of, I'm just telling about one of the technologies there. Then you have gotten, for example, HTLS. There is a high tension, low sag thing. The same structures remain same, only the conductor is changed. How? We are changing the conductor by two things. We are making the core, which is usually either alloy or steel. We are changing it to carbon. Because carbon, the specific gravity of carbon is very less.
Yeah.
The linear coefficient is also very good. So it will give you less sag than the normal ACSR or SSSE or AL59 conductors. And it will be put in the same. And the most important is the ampacity increases to 2.5 to 3 times.
Yes.
So that type of technology these people should know. And they should, and my thing is that, sir, since you are there, and it is a great blessing for us, in Odisha only, we have got all the big industries.
Yes.
So you can tie up with them and tell.
Sir, some time is left for us. So we have to take up some of the questions from audience if it is there. I think we can take one or two questions. So volunteers, can you please help whoever want to ask questions? Any questions from audience?
This is an open question to all the panelists. I have been hearing what the industry expects from the institution, from the university. And my question is, what the industry in this, to this context, energy and climate, can do voluntarily as a contribution to the development of the students so that ultimately all the ecosystem will be benefited. Like you mentioned about the machines students should go and visit. And in fact, BPUT is doing. Yesterday I was listening to VC where he mentioned that my students should go and they should see how things are happening. But in fact, if many institutions are not able to do it, what will be the voluntary role the industry can play or the experts or the consultants can play so that this becomes a motivation for institutions to, or the students to participate?
Hello. Hello. Yeah. Sir, the industry is always there to support. The thing is that the institute has to come. Sir, we can give, the industry can give their expert advice. And the other thing is, the best thing that industry can do is, industry know from where the institute can get money from the government as well as funding from them to establish labs which is used by that industry. Because what happens, sir, in lot of product nowadays, lot of test has to be done in third-party lab. So instead of those third-party lab, industry can use these labs also because you are third-party only for us. And if you get certified by the NABL accredited labs, so Government of India has got no issues. We can take the product from you. What is the issue, sir? If there is I am telling you now in Odisha, 90% of our third-party lab is going to Gujarat, to Maharashtra, to Bengal. So if we have the NABL lab in Odisha, I think, sir will update on that. 100% people will be there.
These labs can be in form of center of excellence, actually.
Yeah, and industry will be more willing to provide you all the technology, running thing, what to do, your everyday job also will be given. Industry will provide you all the work also. And you can earn money also, sir. The thing is that it is not a free of cost. But we are paying. We are paying to a private firm. We are paying to, for example, there are a lot of private firms like TAG and other people are there. You have got ERDA in Gujarat. You have got CPRI all over India, whether it is Bangalore, Hyderabad and everywhere. But we don't have a CPRI type of lab in Odisha. We should have it, sir. And this way, I am telling you, most of the industry will be eager to take you.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to add one point. You know, polluter pays principle we are having. There are a number of industries who are not going by the guidelines. They are violating, and pollution is a big issue. 2 years back, I visited one industry in Belpahar. It's a Tata refractory industry, now occupied by a Japanese company. When we discussed the issues, I wanted to know what are the measures you have undertaken to combat pollution in the industry. They were very much cooperative. They took us to every corner of the plant and they narrated clearly what sort of measures they have undertaken to combat pollution. But that doesn't happen with all industries. Many industries, they simply avoid. They are supposed to be fined for the pollution they are causing, and many are using old, obsolete, outdated technologies which are resulting in much more pollution. So these things should be taken very seriously. Industries are supposed to cooperate, and government organizations' machinery is supposed to check all these things so that we can combat pollution level.
I can give a small example of what Public Health Foundation of India has done, you know, which DPUT also can be an example. We are also an academic institution.
Yes.
So what we did, we collaborated with the industry, our industry, healthcare industry, health research industry. We collaborated and developed a few fellowships. Yeah. So those fellowships, what we did, the students then had to compete for those fellowships, and with those fellowships they got connected. They were required to go and work with those organizations for some time, or as a part of their work, a part of it would be with that organization before they start and working other places. Yeah. But they get a fellowship, so it helped them also do their course, because these courses are expensive. Yeah. But also they're contributing and also learning from them and bringing it back to the organization, to the university. So fellowships can be one way of university collaboration. University, for example, if people are interested in doing, as I mentioned, public health work is collaborative, kind of multidisciplinary. If somebody is interested, some engineer is interested getting into it, collaborate with organizations like Public Health Foundation of India, and we'll be happy to have people and understand and get trained and collaborate, because we need collaborators also. Public health people themselves cannot work on multidisciplinary area of work. So that's also, apart from industry, another way of.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, as you come to the conclusion of this enriching and thought-provoking panel discussion on energy and climate change, it is evident that sustainability and climate responsibility are no longer optional considerations. They are central to the future of development, education, industry, public health, and governance. Today's discussion clearly highlighted that for a progressive and mineral-rich state like Odisha, development and climate responsibility must move together. As you discussed earlier, the challenge before Odisha is not choosing between development and sustainability, but achieving development through sustainability. Thank you so much. I think we have some actionable recommendations also which has come up during the discussion. For example, regarding the institutional sustainability and green campus, we can have a preparation of green campus action plans by all affiliated colleges and of BPUT, including BPUT, promotion of carbon neutral and energy efficient campuses. By a time, it was actually by 2027, but our panelists recommended that let us break down this to a smaller, period so that it can be achievable and it can be monitored also effectively. And mandatory campus energy audits and sustainability reporting frameworks, and implementing of rainwater harvesting, waste segregation, biodiversity conservation, and green mobility, initiatives. And the traditional ones, for example, for which we have already taken up, expansion of rooftop solar systems and renewable energy integration across campuses, establishment of energy management and sustainable cess in institutions, that's what Upadhyay sir told, and adoption of energy efficient technologies, smart systems, and energy infrastructure. Climate change, regarding climate change and public health, I think Madam has told that there should be some awareness programs on climate-linked public health challenges, research initiatives on heat waves, adaptation mechanisms, and climate resilience with policy implications. Similarly, regarding the industry-academia collaboration, establishment of industry-academia green innovation labs, I think that could be a solution, and center of excellence, as Sir told. Joint projects on renewable energy, smart grids, EV technologies, sustainability analytics, and climate technologies. For example, each one of us should know that what are the latest storage technologies available. It is not just about, generation of electric energy, it is about storing for effective use. And finally, development of sustainability benchmarking and green campus ranking systems for the institutions. So thank you so much. With my special thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Ameya Kumar Rath, whose dynamic leadership, visionary thinking, and unwavering commitment towards academic excellence, innovation, sustainability, and industry-academia collaboration have made such a conclave possible. His vision is not only transforming BPUT, but also inspiring institutions and young minds to become future leaders capable of carrying forward his legacy of excellence and societal responsibility. I also express my sincere thanks to all our esteemed panelists. My special thank goes to Dr. Vikramaditya Das, the coordinator of this conclave, for his tireless efforts, and I thank all the office bearers and members of OMCA for arranging this panel discussion for the second time. It's a second time that we are holding this particular panel discussion, and let us collectively move forward with the belief that sustainability is not merely a policy framework, but a shared responsibility towards future generations. Thank you all. Jai Jagannath. Vande Utkala Janati.
Sir, here I just want to add one thing. I would request sir particularly. Hello. Sir, I would request one thing. Everyone is saying about green campus. Don't make BPUT green campus. Make BPUT smart eco campus. Let's change the term. You are not only green, you are smart also.
Okay.
So we should change the term. Thank you, sir.
We can call it smart green campus. Okay.
Smart eco.
Thank you.
What a wonderful panel discussion. Let's have a huge round of applause for the esteemed moderator and the distinguished panelists. Well, I would like to request now Professor Dr. Amey Kumar Rath, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, BPUT, to kindly grace the dais to felicitate our esteemed moderator and distinguished panelists. I think the team is ready. Yes. Let's have a huge round of applause for Professor Dr. Amey Kumar Rath. First of all, we would start with Dr. Jaikrishna Panigrahi, Working President, Odisha Environmental Society Advisor, Odisha Vigyan O Parivesh Congress. Let's have a big round of applause for Jaikrishna Panigrahi. Next we have Dr. Lipika Nanda, Senior Advisor and Mentor, Public Health Foundation of India. Next we have Engineer Kaushik Upadhyay, Advisor, Power Sector and VP, Revontra Engineers Private Limited. Engineer Kaushik Upadhyay. Let's have a big round of applause. We have Dr. Suraj Kumar, Vice President, Kalinga Renewable Energy Manufacture Private Limited. Last but not the least, Dr. Shiv Kumar Mishra, Director, PNT, Biju Patnaik University of Technology, Odisha. The honor of felicitation is done by Honorable Vice Chancellor, Biju Patnaik University of Technology, Rourkela, Odisha. Requesting all the panelists, along with the Vice Chancellor, sir, and the moderator, sir, to kindly assemble for a group photograph. Let's have a huge round of applause. Thank you so much, all the dignitaries. You may please take the seats off the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, we now break for lunch. Exactly at 2 p.m., we are going to commence a session of the podcast. Thank you all for your active participation and engagement in the session so far. Kindly resemble after the lunch break as we continue with the remaining insightful sessions of the conclave. Please enjoy the lunch.